Good morning. Welcome back to the Saturday morning Qi Gong lessons. This is the Levi Tai Chi School. I am, of course, Lao Shi Paul Nettles, and we are graciously hosted this morning, as always, every Saturday morning by the Alexandria Museum of Art, and we are brought to you by a generous grant from Rapids Regional Medical Center, our real-life heroes who are still toiling on the front lines. 7 months in and still ticking. So if you know a nurse, a doctor, a pharmacy tech, someone who cleans up in the hospital after everything is done and said, thank them today. It's a hell of a job. And we are grateful for them. I am grateful to be here with you, as always, this beautiful Saturday morning. I hope you're outside somewhere or get to be outside today at some point. It's warming up again. I think our cool front is exiting and fall isn't quite seated at the table yet, but maybe soon. Hopefully soon. I miss the cold. I like the cold. So this morning, I'll be very honest with you, this morning I've got about a dozen lessons floating around my head right now, and it's while it's all personal, I'm not going to drag you into them. It's less mindfulness lessons and more just life lessons that kind of have been bouncing off me here of late. You know I do like to take aspects of my own life and my own learning and training and present them to you as lessons because they're fresh and they're very personal and they have an impact, I think, on people. I think we're all in the same boat. We don't think we are, but we're all the same kind of being. We all have the same worries and fears and jubilations and so forth. But I was thinking, as I drove in this morning at a slightly accelerated pace because I was running a little late. I hate being late. I really hate being late. Moving a little fast this morning, I was thinking about our new Sunday classes. As you know, if you've been following us for a while, we've been doing the deep dive on Sundays where we take a look at a specific posture and really kind of dig into it and break it apart and look at all the specifics and give you some tips and pointers on it. And we've reached the end of our 8 postures in the Baduan Jin. And rather than jump into Tai Chi or something, I thought we might go ahead and do this.
5 minutes completed. Burn calories, 21 calories.
Sorry about that. You may notice there's a lack of light heliographs on the phone from the broken camera. I do in fact have a new phone finally, but having a new phone means I am going through that new phone week where you have to change all your settings back to where they used to be and get all your files back and find out what you've lost and all that stuff. So sorry about that. That was my little other timer, my self-timer, talking to you. I guess I burn calories just standing here. I guess that's how it works. So, like I say, we Sundays we run out of things to do on Sundays, and as far as the deep dive goes, and rather than just dump back into the same old, I thought perhaps what we might do is go back to how we used to teach class here in the museum. There's a few of you who've been here since the beginning, I think. And remember when I would have to, talk through the whole thing, and class take about 50 minutes because we would discuss different things. We'd throw lessons in, we'd talk about postures and breathing and all that stuff, especially when new students came along. And while I don't necessarily miss that, I think it might help if we have some of the newer folks out there who are maybe too afraid to ask a question for fear of looking foolish or whatever, or looking naive. And I must say this, don't ever feel foolish or naive in this class. We've all started somewhere with this class, and usually at the very beginning, and don't know anything. So never be afraid to ask. But for those of you who are too afraid to ask specific questions about movements or whatnot, or simply just don't know that there's more to it than what we've been talking about, especially here of late in the last probably 6 months or so, I think we might go back to the beginning, and on Sundays we'll just start as if we're having a novice class again. and discuss all the little specifics of breathing and posture and how to help train your mind and all the little things we've covered all these years, especially these last months in class in the museum. I have found, and I think at this point I have no new stories to tell really. It's kind of tragic really. I have no new stories. But all my stories, I think, have a fair bit of impact in terms of how we approach this thing. When I first started, if you may recall this story, we had a very small class, and Sifu would often have to restart class in terms of going back to the very beginning in Tai Chi as new students came in, rather than split the class into 2 or 3 classes or 2 or 3 subsets within the class. He would simply take us all back, beginners, advanced, everyone, to the very beginning, and we'd learn to walk again, and we'd learn to breathe again, and we'd learn everything all over again. And I used to get very frustrated because I was paying a pretty penny to be there, and I was still in that mindset that I had to hurry up and get to the end. I had to hurry up and learn the whole thing so I'd then practice it. And I hadn't yet learned that I could practice the pieces I had and deepen that practice without rushing to the end, but I was still in that mindset. And then it occurred to me one day, while we had gone back to the beginning again and moved forward, that I had been doing a posture in Tai Chi wrong the whole time. Not brutally wrong, or Sifu would have called me on it and corrected me, but subtly wrong. And that's the thing with Tai Chi and in some cases Qi Gong. It's a very subtle art. Tai Chi especially is extremely subtle. And I was doing something subtle wrong. Not enough that he could see it to correct me, but wrong enough that I knew it was wrong. And we went back over it for the second or third time, and I realized, oh my gosh, I've been doing it wrong all this time. And I never told him that. Maybe I should have, but it ingrained in me the importance of returning to foundation work, returning to our roots. And our roots are the very first bricks we lay in Qigong. It's how to breathe in through our nose, out through our mouth, how to hold ourselves. And I think it might be good to revisit that. If nothing else, you can go through the form a little slower with me, or you can skip Sundays if you want to, or you can just turn the video off and do it yourself, by yourself, at your own pace, and ignore me, talking to the newer folks, or you can stay with me and maybe pick up something you didn't know, or be reminded of something you may have forgotten. There can be a lot of training drift in Qigong and Tai Chi especially, as you train and you become more independent, you can become on your own as a practitioner. Some of the lessons slip out, bad habits creep in, all kind of things happen like that. It happens in Tai Chi as well. So we may try that. We may go back to our beginnings, back to our roots. Today, for my practice, because I am in a very adrenaline-fueled mood, I had to run some errands this morning, and they cut me very, very, very close to being late this morning. And you guys know my obligations and being late and how that riles me. I can't stand being late, and I can't stand not fulfilling an obligation to someone. So I'm a little emotional this morning, a little wound up, a little adrenaline fueled, even though I'm on time and I'm here with you now. So I think this morning I'm going to pull myself back to my roots, back to the beginning days, and try to look at and remember and practice all the very basic stuff. Breathing in slowly and full, breathing out through your mouth slowly and deeply, holding myself just so, holding myself relaxed, all the little nuances that we talk about with beginners, I'm going to revisit. And I invite you to do the same. I'm not going to talk about them, I'm not going to call them out. We'll have a very quiet class. It's actually just me this morning here. I think Patty told me she couldn't make it. She had obligations already. And I think George may have had something going on. I didn't see George or Shonu, but that's okay. We're going to have class. But I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to go back to the very roots of my training and see if I can't find another fresh little bit of sparkly to hang on to. So I invite you to do the same. I invite you to go back to your beginnings and see what you can find. So, a little different angle this morning, a little different artwork for you back there. And I'm in my comfy clothes, you can tell. And let's go ahead and begin the class, shall we? Let's begin with our first sow. And remember, think about your roots. Think about your beginnings. Lifting the heavens. Breathe out. Owl gazes backwards. Stars fall to earth. Breathe in. Lion wags tail. Mary, heavens and earth. Breathe in. Quan Ti sits on his throne. lastly, stamp the earth. One more. There we are. Not a perfect practice, but none of them are. Remember that. You won't have a perfect practice. You'll get close, perhaps. You'll have very good days, very bad days. No perfect. We keep striving for that. We keep working on the journey. We're not worried about attaining a belt or a sash or a rank or a special uniform or even bragging rights. We do this for ourselves. We do it for our betterment in here and in here. Hold that in your heart when you play your form. Don't think about trying to get somewhere. Don't even think about getting to the end. Just stay with the postures. Stay in the moment. Enjoy it. Enjoy the quiet. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy company if you have some. Enjoy solitude if you have some. And we keep moving forward, as always. Thank you for joining me as always. Special thanks to Rapids Regional Medical Center for our grant to let us be here. Remember, AMoA is looking to expand the Healthy at AMoA programming. So we are thinking about adding a Tai Chi class in. We'll probably run 8 to 10 classes straight through. We'll do a very simple Tai Chi form, probably a demonstration form. It kind of hits all the highlights of the major Yang school postures, very soft, very fluid. No impacts, no jarring, no fast movements, no sudden jerks, but a very short form. And I have reason to believe that if I can get students who can be here every time or most every time for about 10 classes, I can teach you the whole thing. It'll be a little fast in terms of getting you through the lessons, but y'all are smart. Got some good folks. Spread the word if you're interested in learning a very short Tai Chi form. Get the word out. I don't know when the finalization will come. It'll probably be next year, honestly, at this point, but that's okay. We'll have time to get ready for it. And we'll learn a simple Yang-style Tai Chi form in class. Like I say, over maybe the period of 2 months or so, 8 to 10 weeks. Single classes, about an hour a day. We'll do the full hour for a change rather than doing a partial like the Qi Gong. And we'll learn Tai Chi together. It'll be fun. So today, I feel better. I really do. That slowed me quite a bit. I think that did me good to return to my roots. Go have a good day. Or go have a day. Just have an okay day. Whatever you do, whatever you feel today, whatever you encounter today, approach it with an open heart, and remember that no matter how bad it may get, we start again tomorrow. This is not permanent. None of this is permanent. Not even the bad moods and the coronavirus and the everything. It's all impermanent. Change is the only constant. Except for me. I'll be here tomorrow morning. Not here. I'll be here on your computer. 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. My front yard. And we will maybe go back to the beginnings and talk about some basic stuff and play the form together. Thank you for joining me. Remember, the museum is open if you want to join us in person. If not, the live feed is still here, no problems. We'll continue as always until either I have 0 viewers or I give out or something happens to stop me. I enjoy being here with you. My wish for you, as always, is that you stay safe and you be well.